Whee! Family, non-dual awakening is a lot like becoming lucid in a dream. I had a lucid dream last night. I don't usually, but interestingly, I had a dream. I was on a train with my family, and the train went off a cliff and plummeted 1,000 feet. And as it was falling, I remember feeling a sense of peace, like just saying, I love you, everyone, and just ready to accept death and see what was next. But then the train just bounced off the ground, just bounced back up onto the track and just kept going. And everyone just kind of acted like this was normal. But I was like, hey, wait, everybody, there's got to be some explanation for this. Like, that doesn't just happen. We should be dead right now. And then I was like, hey, we must be dreaming. We must be dreaming, or at least I must be dreaming. And I said, we must be dreaming. And my dad got this kind of puzzled look on his face, like, huh, oh, you think so, huh? And then I was like, yeah, this is definitely a dream right now. And then I was like, wow, look at how detailed it is. I was like looking at all these faces. I think the scene then shapeshifted into something like Japan or South Korea. And I was like, look at all these faces. Wow, they're so detailed, they're so rich. This is just as just as lucid, just as vivid, just as richly detailed as what we consider normal waking life. And friend of mine, wise friend, Dina Evans, said the other day that non-dual awakening is similar to becoming lucid in a dream. And I like this metaphor, although in a profound sense, in the case of non-dual awakening, there is no dreamer, there is no dream, there is no dreaming. Or you could say dreamer, dreaming, and dreamed are one. Although in Zen they say not one, not two. And the key with these kind of netty, not this, not that type of pointers, these seemingly negating pointers, is just to pluck out all solidifications. Anything you might be solidifying, any idea that you might be turning into a fixed idea, like, oh, this is all one, or oh, this is all God, or oh, this is all emptiness. Anything that you concretize into a fixed idea needs to be plucked out and de-solidified. Or it doesn't need to be, but that's just what tends to happen in the process of non-dual awakening. Because, yeah, the way in which non-dual awakening is similar to a lucid dream is that, you know, clearly we seem to be living these rich human lives in a vast universe of time and space, and we seem to have real pasts and real futures. And in a profound sense, we do. In a profound sense, we are living these incredibly intimate, poetic, heart-cracking stories. And oh my, is it ever juicy? Is it ever rich? Wow, it just touches the heart so deeply, this human life. So non-duality is not about negating human life. However, it reveals, you could say, another side of the coin. It reveals another perspective, another way of noticing life, another way of being with life. And what that is essentially the recognition that all we ever come in contact with is this presently appearing instantaneous buzzingness. You know, the past is nowhere to be found, the future is nowhere to be found. The beginning of this sentence is totally gone. The end of this sentence is not here yet until right now, and then it's gone. It's just this, there's this instantaneous meltingness, this slip slidingness, this morphingness, where everything is literally vanishing in the moment it appears in a profound sense. If you look closely, every nanosecond is a complete departure from the previous nanosecond. Even if it seems to only be different in very subtle ways, Peter Brown would say that's a euphemism for saying that it's completely different. Because you know, if you look closely, every single apparent pixel, every single apparent speck of light that makes up your field of experience, it subtly changes, it subtly morphs, it subtly dances in every instant. We usually don't notice this. We usually overlook this as noise in the machine, this kind of sparklingness that pervades our field of experience, that pervades all the sense fields, this buzzing aliveness. But actually, interestingly, through sensitive non-dual awakening, you start to notice that that's not just noise in the machine to be discarded. That is a real energy presence, you could say. That's a mysterious energy presence appearing spontaneously from nowhere right now. And actually, that pixelation, that sparklingness, in a profound sense, is more revealing of what this is than the usual human stories that we tell, because the human stories that we tell paint a picture of a solid, knowable, objective world full of solid, knowable objects that are continuous through time. And we don't usually notice that these are heavily reliant on massive simplifications and conceptual overlays that we paint over top this, you could say, more primal experience of simply this infinite pixelation, this infinite buzzingness, these, and when I say infinite, what is meant by that is non-finite, unpindownable, unfindable, ungraspable, unresolvable, cannot be put in any finite box, in any finite category, in any finite concept, because as soon as you try to say what anything is, it's already changed into something else. And when you notice that infinite pixelation, that can really be an accelerator. That's a very direct path to go directly to the infinite pixelation and hang out there and notice that any object you can look at in your field of experience, I'm holding headphones right now. If I look closely at that pixelation is there, that dancing light is there, and I can see that I've never experienced whatever this is in the same way twice. It's actually different in every nanosecond. It's a multidimensional experience appearing only now. It's, in a profound sense, it's not a solid, coherent, consistent object persisting through time. What is time? Where is time? Show me where time is. Show me where the past is. Show me where the future is. No one's ever found the past. No one's ever found the future. So, yeah, non-dual awakening is pretty trippy. It can be, quite groundless. It can be vertigo-inducing. It can be fear-inspiring when you start to notice this, because it's like all of the complexity, this entire vast world, this entire vast spatio-temporal world and universe with so many problems and challenges and complexities and labyrinthine difficulties we need to navigate, it all begins to collapse down to the purest simplicity of just this razor's edge of meltingness right here and now, just this instantaneous effulgence. And it's like, oh, okay, so now is all I've ever known. And there is no now. Not as a moment in time, because where's time? You can't find it. Nothing can be found as something graspable. Nothing can be found as something that could be pinned down. All that can be found is this instantaneous morphingness. And so when you notice that, it's just like, whoa, it is similar to becoming lucid in a dream, because it's just like, wow. So I've been projecting this entire world and making it this real solid, concrete thing, when all the while the actual fact of my experience has never been anything other than this instantaneous buzzingness that I can't say anything about, this unknown morphingness that I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. So it's like a release into unknowing, an unknown simplicity of just this here nowness, just this here nowness. And yet, from the view of the mind, this is very paradoxical, but it feels natural from the viewless view of non-dual awakening. Within this instantaneous buzzingness that is all I know, there are these apparently solid, graspable objects, and they do seem to persist through time, and our human lives are still right here where they've always been. They're still poetic, heart-opening, love effulging. There's still gorgeous poetry. There's still, incredibly rich, incredibly meaningful to engage with. They're right here. They're real experiences. Somehow this instantaneous buzzingness, this self-awake apparition, is able to present and conjure up this rich experience of what seems to be a real world populated by real, consistent, coherent, knowable things and people and objects and situations. And yeah, similar to a dream, it's very, very convincing. And similar to a dream, it's a real experience. A dream is also a real experience. That's a real experience taking place in and as awareness. And there is no awareness. Just got to keep plucking out those thorns of solidification. We can't even solidify, grasp, find, or reify the most subtle non-dual concepts like awareness, voidness, suchness, emptiness, Satchitananda. No, none of that can be found either. You just can't find anything as a graspable anything. All you find is this cascadingness, this meltingness, here and now, this razor's edge of buzzingness. And yet, somehow, through a miraculous magic trick, Maya in one sense means magic show. Through a miraculous magic trick, this instantaneous buzzingness, this, apparition of pure awareness, whatever you want to call it, it is able to, and it's only right here and now. Pure awareness is not somewhere else. Again, there is no pure awareness, but this moment is as absolute as it gets. We're not looking for someplace else. No other time, no other place, no other life. Right here and now, you eating a burrito is as absolute as it gets, as absolute as we ever know. We never know anything other than experience. How could we? If we ever found something other than experience, wouldn't we find it within experience, within awareness? So this simple awareness is all we ever know. So it's as absolute as it gets. How could anything ever appear outside of some kind of awakeness, some kind of experiencing that perceives it? It wouldn't be possible, right? It's like, yeah, maybe you can see that. And some of these types of pointers can actually be chewed on logically and rationally to see, oh yeah, that makes sense. Nothing could ever appear outside of some kind of awakeness that would perceive that. And so just this instantaneous awakeness that has this quality of instantaneous buzzingness, morphingness, meltingness, total impermanence, total instability, that's all we ever know. And yet it somehow is able to conjure up and present as this incredibly rich, incredibly textured, incredibly juicy experience of a world. And it's pure poetry, it's dreamlike, it's as you move deeper into this noticing, it can start to seem very dreamlike, very insubstantial, and yet at the same time, it's so juicy, and it is here, and it is included. It's so fully included. When the seeing really touches the heart, it's like, oh yeah, embracing all of this formfulness in this giant bear hug, just embracing all of this formfulness in this giant bear hug, embracing the heart cracking poetry, not negating anything. Nothing is negated, everything is included. It's just clearly seen that it all collapses down to this naked simplicity of unknown nowness, and that's all we ever encounter and all we ever actually have to deal with. And the now is doing itself. It just it's already done. It's in a flash of instantaneous apparition, the entire universe appears effortlessly in a complete form. So this is completeness. This is simple rest right now. It's just doing itself. So there can be a great sense of relief, a great sense of liberation, a freedom from having to do something and be someone and check off this endless to-do list. And you're just free to be exactly as you are right now. And you're free from being caged or pinned down as being anything. You're free from all conceptual categorizations that might pin you down or try to put you in a box. You just know that none of that applies. None of that applies. So who cares what any of the dream characters might think about you, or what they might call you, or how they might categorize you? Who gives a shit? So it's very freeing in that sense, and you're still fully free to participate and to be the character that you are. I love being Jordan. I love being JB. It's really fun. It's fun. I enjoy this opportunity. What a gift. What a gift to, have this experience of being someone who can participate in this dreamlike environment of a world. Super cool. Super cool. And who can be affected, who can let the heart-cracking poetry of the world into his heart. That's the tendency of the JB character, is to be touched by the heart, by what is happening in the apparent world, and to want to help, to want to help people alleviate sorrow and protect the innocent and do a better job of taking care of our kids in this place and make it a more beautiful place for them. All of those types of impulses and preferences, what makes you you, it can all still be there. It's all likely still going to be there to a great extent. You're not going to, suddenly shapeshift into Ramana Maharshi or Leo DiCaprio. You're going to be you. And that's all there's left to do. There's just nothing to do but be you, baby. Nothing to do but be you. So then you just dance your dance, you sing your song, you do your funny thing. So yeah, hopefully that's clarifying in some way. Lucidity within the dream. Yeah, and again, there is no dream, there is no lucidity. Don't over concretize this metaphor. It's just a metaphor, but it can be a useful metaphor, a useful pointing. Yeah, just be with this instantaneous juiciness here and now. Just check it out. Let yourself feel the strangeness of it. Just kind of trip out on it. Get drunk on the bizarreness of being anything at all, and noticing the total instability, total dynamism, total radical impermanence of this instantaneous morphingness. Notice that you don't know what it is. You don't actually know what it is. It's infinitely more and other than what we typically hold it to be, more and other than any way we could hold it to be. We can't know in any definitive sense what this is, because the indefiniteness is baked into its very nature. The unpindownable non-finiteness is just baked into its very nature. And you see that when you look directly at the slipperiness, when you look directly at the infinitely dancing pixelation, you see the morphingness. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess instantaneous morphingness is what I am and all I've ever known. And yet, somehow, that includes everything. That includes everything. And it's all real. It's all neither real nor unreal. Way beyond real, way simpler than real. And here it is. Here it is for our enjoyment. So enjoy it, you know. Once asked my 90-something-year-old grandfather, what advice he'd give on life after 90 years on the planet. And he said, enjoy it. Just enjoy it. It goes fast. And, ironically, that's, very similar to what I heard a Vajrayana Buddhist master saying on a podcast the other day. It was like, yeah, if you know you're gonna die, you might as well enjoy yourself. There's no reason not to enjoy it. Even if you're close to death and you know it, there's no reason not to enjoy the fullness of these juicy sense fields that are, really just this one continuum of this total sense field, this immediate energy presence of pure vitality, pure juiciness, pure richness, aliveness, lusciousness, sumptuousness. Check it out. Eat the burrito. Enjoy the burrito. Enjoy the pizza. Enjoy the relationships right here. So, yeah, enjoy, have fun, be you. Thank you for listening, family. Much love, much peace. Namaste, amen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take good care. Stay golden, family. Take good care. Peace. I love you.